Hello, everyone, and welcome to another My Music. In the middle of the day, I'm recording. You're listening to this, who knows when, but I hope you're having a great day, whatever it is that you're doing right now. I'm going to be joined by these two chaps. Introduce yourself, chaps.
Hello, we are two of the members of a band called Rivia. I'm Matt, and
I'm Chris.
I play guitar and sing, and
I'm a drummer. So
Very dismissive. And I'm a drummer.
the most important.
I'm at the back.
He's the most important part.
We're not gonna use any of the drummer jokes in this episode because they've all been used a million times before. Okay, we might have a go at bass players though. Wait and see. Well, we'll be back with Rivia in a minute after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
So there we go, Rivia. Thank you so much for coming. What's the difference between a drummer and a drum machine?
Ooh.
You know this one, right? This is the oldest one in the book.
Yeah, drummers are more fun to watch live. Let's be honest.
It's not. That's not the answer.
Oh,
No.
damn.
Do you not actually? Do you seriously not know this joke?
No.
Oh,
I'm
No.
also in the dark.
absolutely nothing. You have to punch the instructions into both of them.
No.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, that one makes sense.
You got presets.
Tell me, guys. Let's start with the name Rivia, which almost sounds a bit like Riviera. I mean, it has that kind of vibe to it. Where does it come from?
It comes from a series of books that turned into games that turned into a Netflix show called The Witcher.
Right.
The main character is called Geralt of Rivia, and Rivia is just a fictional place in that fictional world. But I really like the idea of he's not actually from there, but because of the things he does for that place, they effectively like accept him and bring him in. So I like the idea of even though you're not from there, you can still become something else.
Now, being old, you see, I am aware of this game. My kids have played this game. I'm aware of like the movie and everything else, but I've not watched it. So there you go. The reference was completely lost on me, but now you've explained. And what I might do later is amaze them that I know that fact.
Yeah,
You see? And they'll be like, "Why do you know that?" You know, and you don't need to tell us that as well, because of course we know that. So whatever you do with your kids, you cannot be cool.
I feel like I'm kind of looking forward to that point in my life. I mean, I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm kind of looking forward to being like an old, uncool dad.
I'm already at that point, I think.
Why are you looking forward to that? Is it because it's kind of like the pressure's off at that point? Do you feel like there's pressure these days to be something when you're younger?
I don't know. I just see a lot of slightly elder gentlemen who have a beer belly and just look very happy.
Yeah,
they just look very relaxed.
We're eating all the time.
Yeah, they're just like I'm just dull. I'm just me. Yeah. I'm just like, and I like that.
Yeah, the pressure's off at that point, isn't it?
chilling at that point.
Well, it is until someone like your doctor actually says, "Oh, you really ought to go to the gym and do all of that," and you go, "Yeah, when am I going to do that?" You know, I've got the kids to feed and the takeout there, and I mean, because here's the thing, right? Every dad of my age is also a taxi driver. You know, we've got two jobs anyway, which is doing whatever you do plus taxiing around the rest of the family. That's the way it is. Mind you, when you're in a band, and of course, you know, I remember that from the 90s being in a band, you taxi around kit quite a lot all around the country. How are you finding getting out there playing?
Well,
should we talk about pre-COVID or after COVID?
Yeah, talk about both.
Start pre. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we when we started the band, we'd seen a lot of bands doing sort of the local scene and just like playing the same sort of venues over and over again, and it's like it's great and it's amazing, not knocking it, but we kind of wanted to do it a little bit differently. So as soon as we kind of got the band together, we were like, right, let's tour. So it was real sort of grassroots kind of thing, proper guerrilla warfare set up. We set it all ourselves up, and
Very DIY.
yeah, and then we just hit the road basically and was it 7 shows? Like,
Yeah,
from like Glasgow to London.
Yeah, we had a really
Wow.
good first year, and then we had things. It was like sort of the momentum was going, and then we had about 12 shows lined up for 2020, and then overnight they all got cancelled. And it was like, oh,
Yeah, and then COVID hit. But
yeah, and then
the setup was funny, wasn't it? Because we literally it was like the worst episode of Top Gear you've ever seen. Like we're just 3 of us, like or 4 of us, all in 3 hatchbacks with like amps and drums and everything. So yeah.
But now it's like, well, I've
You've
my
upgraded, haven't
my
you?
car now. When I'm going to buy a car, it's purely how big the boot is, and do the seats go flat. So I'm in a
Yep.
big Ford C Max now. I'm in like
proper
like,
soccer mum
proper,
mobile.
yeah. I've got like 7-seater. It's
great.
Really, it's fantastic.
I love it.
It gets all the kit in it. Plus, like we can squeeze a few more people in it if we're lucky. Yeah.
Hey,
And
That's
you know,
what it is.
and it's
this whole conversation has come back round the circle again. I mean, clearly when you get to my age, you buy cars like that for practical reasons. You can get all the kids in it, but that's the beauty of those things as well, isn't it? That you can, you can put the seats down, put the drum kit in, and away you go. Having said that, there is also the opportunity to buy a van. And just leave the family alone at home, because a van is completely tax deductible as well. That's the thing you've got to think about there, which is oh yeah, well exactly. You've got to think about these things, So everybody buy a van. That would really pay the government off, wouldn't it? There we go. Less tax and more vans on the road, holding up the rest of the traffic. That's what we like. And if they're all full of bands like yourselves on the road, off to gigs, that would be even better, because we need more bands out there playing gigs as well. Are you finding it difficult to find the right type of venue then now? Especially as so many venues of a certain size have shut.
Yeah, so definitely with like, there's that bridge, isn't there, where I think we're definitely at that point now where we are filling out the small venues very comfortably, and we want to start bumping up to those medium-sized venues, and those medium-sized venues are few and far between. It's basically
they've all disappeared.
It's a gap, isn't it? So like it's either you've got like 200, sub 200.
Yeah,
or
you've got a pub basically with a hall attached to it. Yeah.
You play like you either play like a basement or a readable academy.
Yeah, like
you go from the Skittle Alley to Wembley Stadium these days.
Yeah,
and it's really difficult to find the bit in the middle. Yeah, it's hard. Or those ones that are in the middle. They're everyone's in them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad, because we for the first time in our careers we got to experience some of those venues like before they've been shut down, and like it was like very early on for us as well, like first time ever doing like a proper tour and things like that, and we got to like experience it, and then we're coming back for round 2 the next year, and it's like, oh, they literally don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
and it's like,
it's sad, man. It's really sad.
Yeah, so there's a lot of
listening to your music, I'd have to say that there's an obvious solution to all of this, which is that you just go on tour with Busted. Yeah.
It's funny you should say that.
Yeah, that's you said it first. Let's up the listening.
I mean, for that, on that same thing, Year 3000 was the first CD I ever bought, so it would be very full circle for us. I think
it'd be like a dream come true, to be honest. Yeah.
If I'd have thought more about this today, I should have worn my Busted t-shirt. I did actually go and see them last summer in Brighton.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jealous.
You've been to see them? I presume you've been to see them. Yeah.
Mm.
Who else have been influences on the band? I mean, is it many and varied?
Yes, it is. It's funny because we're all from slightly different like backgrounds, like musically and otherwise. So we've all got a bit of an eclectic taste, and then putting it all together is quite interesting because you get some things that kind of
Okay. So when people say that, I have to kind of test the waters on this, right? Because there's eclectic and then there's eclectic. Who's got in the band? Who's got the weirdest taste in music, and what's the most far out? Okay, and what's the most far out thing that you listen to?
Like Mr. Bungle.
Okay. Do you know what? I had a Mr. Bungle album picture disc once. I ended up selling it to Australia. Yeah, because it was given to me by a certain singer who was singing on that album.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did you get rid of it?
Why did I get rid of it? Because the amount of money that some Australian wanted to give me for it actually could buy a new engine in a car. So it kind of made sense. But yeah, that's okay. So so you like slightly the heavier side of things?
Yeah, I'm definitely like some of my favorite bands, like Avenged Sevenfold. I grew up listening to like Bullet for My Valentine and Bring Me the Horizon and all that kind of stuff. Linkin Park as well.
Yeah,
there's definitely a lot of Linkin Park influences, and especially some of the newer stuff we're doing.
Yeah. Here's a great question then. Avenged Sevenfold, with or without Mike Portney as the drummer, was that the best album ever?
Nah, the White Album was the best album.
Oh, you see, there you go.
Yeah.
There's a load of people out there now that don't know.
I don't care.
You see, we're teasing him to get to give his honest opinion. We know now that he actually knows his stuff. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I actually got asked that in an interview.
Did you?
Yeah, in a job interview, they said if you could take any album, to like a Desert Island or a White Album, Avenged Sevenfold.
There you go.
Don't even have to think about it.
And what? So okay. I'm gonna say though, that isn't actually that obscure, right?
Oh, I know that one isn't. No. I know that one.
No.
Isn't.
So I feel like I'm being lied to slightly at this point. I feel there might be, if I tease again slightly, something that somebody in the band, or is there a guilty pleasure? Is there something in the band that perhaps somebody likes, or you all like that perhaps you shouldn't admit to?
Yeah. Disco.
Disco.
We love disco.
We love a good disco.
Like it's not really disco, but like anything that kind of makes us want to do this, like a little bit fun, a little bit silly. So we a lot of our gigs we went through a phase of coming out to Lowrider by War, even though it's not like
the best walk-on song ever.
It's not exactly like
that's
sonically matches up. We were just like, yeah, that's the song.
I love that. So from time to time you sort of channel the Gap band, or your own. Do you do a little bit of Scissor Sisters or something?
Yeah, was Little Scissor Sisters. Our guitarist likes Scissor Sisters.
There you are. Tremendous. You see, we're getting all of the info at the moment from you both. What's your big sort of ambition for the rest of 2025? What are you trying to sort of now you kind of, you had the momentum going, it all got stuck, where are you trying to get to this year? What's the plan?
This year we want to get sort of out of our little bubble that we're in. We want to sort of we want to kind of do what we did when we started, and that's hit the ground running again. We want to tour, we want to gig, we want to get up in people's faces and go, this is us, like this is everything we've learned from being a band for nearly 6 years, and like we're ready to sort of showcase that and what we've learned, and we're starting to come into our own a little bit and like find our feet a little bit. Yeah. So now we want to just get in front of people and show them that, and then just bring them with us and go next year even bigger and better.
Now, you know what some people are doing, or I'm seeing some artists doing at the moment, which I think is quite clever, is that they're trying to play all of the places that other people don't play? Have you considered that? Have you thought about sort of like, actually, like everybody does Manchester, and it's difficult, isn't it? Because if you play all of the obvious places, you can get a big audience, etc. But there's the risk take, which is, play places like Somerset, where I am, and you may or may not get an audience. But if you strike lucky, and you actually attract an audience there, and people like you, then you potentially can sort of build on that because nobody else is playing there.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, and I think we are. We're in Liverpool, so we kind of experience a little bit of that when some of the big touring bands come through. They'll play Manchester and they'll play like Birmingham, Glasgow, but they just don't come to Liverpool for whatever reason. Yeah. And we've kind of we don't care. Like geography doesn't matter to us. We'll just play wherever. Yeah. We will play. Like we want to go play it. We'll play in a cave. We'll play in the desert. Yeah. Like.
We like playing. Yeah. We like the live. We like the gigging aspect.
We did it's all Bickerstock.
Oh yeah.
We did this.
Do you think that will improve in Liverpool? I mean, they're doing a lot of development up there. What's it? It's called the Baltic State or whatever. It's
Baltic Triangle. Yeah, that's where we have our rehearsal room.
Yeah, we rehearse up that way.
And it's wonderful, to be honest. But the love and the I guess the funding that the city's getting in the last 5 years or so has been great, because obviously Everton have got their new stadium being built, so I drive past that like every day and just see it slowly getting like more complete, which is fun.
There's one to play, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Oh, that'd be cool as fuck.
Amazing. Like, I mean, personally, I'd rather play Anfield, but
I'm a Blue, so
we'll just have to play both.
Yeah.
My dad will disown me if I play Anfield.
It's a bit like that up there, though, isn't it? Does your dad not disown you for being in a band with people that support the opposite side anyway? I mean,
no, he understands. We've got to have a parlay at some point.
It's like talks, isn't it? It's like talks for against the war or something like that. Yeah. I'm going out to band practice tonight, Dad. I mean, you call it sort of like diplomatic relations, but we call it band practice. Yeah. Oh no, that's tremendous. What you need to do, and you mentioned T-shirts earlier before we got started. Well, what you need to do is a T-shirt where it's red one side and blue the other.
Ooh. I mean, our
that'd be interesting, couldn't it?
Our colour is purple.
Well, there you go. You've mixed both. Now you see how you're telling people that that's what you've done.
Yeah,
you're bringing the people of the area together.
Yeah.
Now you see, that's
uniting force.
Yes,
that's genius. You've never thought of that before, have you? But now you have, and now you're going to use it everywhere.
Completely change.
Folks, we've got purple T-shirts for you tonight, and the reason we've got purple is because it's red and blue mixed. Just think about that. You're all coming together in one place, in one spirit today.
That will be really cool.
That works in Manchester as well. It works in most cities, to be fair.
It does. Look at that. See what we've done here. We've generated a thing.
Write that down. Write that
down. Oh, what's out of all of the songs that you've put out so far, what's your favourite? What are you most proud of so far? And it's always going to be the next one as well.
I'm going to be cliche and say I'm really excited for the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, the sound that we've got on the next one is like, I think we've been together for a few years, and we've all sort of got our ways of writing and this one, there's the one that really we all came together on, and it really is a collaboration of all our, as we talked about before, influences. It's all our influences coming together to create that. Quite a new sound for us, really, but we're definitely going to be going forward with it.
Hell yeah!
Right? So if you can put semantics against this sound, this is the difficult bit now, especially when you have to type it into Spotify, into some kind of playlist type thing. But what would you define it as?
It's really hard to not choose like really cliche things like
Yeah.
aggressive and
Ooh,
that.
that's a word though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd say nostalgia.
It's it's definitely got a bit of nostalgia about it. It's definitely reminiscent of that early noughties kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like I'm trying to think of like a weird sum me up thing, like a skateboard with a PhD.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a skateboard with a PhD, it's aggressive nostalgia for your
Like,
folks.
It's punk rock with a little bit of
modernity on it.
Yeah.
I love that. There you go. Well, you see, we've done that. That's what you need to write when you put it into Spotify. That will really cock Spotify up.
Yeah.
It will have no idea whatsoever to do with that.
Yeah.
Are you saying it's country? No, I'm not. Indie then? No, I'm not.
It might be.
It might be, but it might not be. Do you find that whole kind of platform thing? I've asked other people this in the past, but do you find that having to release your music on these platforms where you have to create or put it into a genre box, do you find that whole thing quite difficult?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I find it really frustrating because I feel like there is now like 150,000 subgenres, isn't there? And it's like, well, what are you? Like because we don't write the same song every single time. Some a little bit more chilled out, some are a bit more rocky, some are faster, some are slower, some are I hate the world songs, some are I love you songs. So how do you put that into one box? Like we always just say like we're a rock band or like I guess pop punk alt rock kind of thing, and it's just like we sort of draw the line on that when it's guitar music.
Yeah,
like,
our songs are so. If you can watch a live show, you'll see the diversity in terms of the actual songwriting.
Yeah,
and again, they come back to that. Just comes from all the different influences we've got.
Do you find it interesting when you upload your music to these platforms and then they do that thing underneath where it goes, if you like this, you might like this.
Yeah,
and you look at some of them, you go, what?
Yeah, we had Eminem once.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like, why?
On what planet?
Yeah, it was just like, I remember seeing it and thinking, well, that
makes no sense.
Yeah. You're wrong there.
I mean, you wouldn't mind if it was the other way round.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
No.
I mean, did you check that out at the time? Did you quickly flick over and go, oh,
no,
I'm listening to some N&M and if you like N&M, you'll like Rivia. Oh, that's good. Look at that. Fantastic. You know, that would be great if it played into your hands the other way around, and suddenly, you know, you got discovered by all these millions of people because you were associated with a famous artist. That would be great.
Well, if being the keyword there.
Yeah, it never does it that way though, does it? Never does it that way round.
Sadly.
I wonder why.
It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. How can people out there help you? If you got people now listening to this on as this goes out live over the next week or two, and people catch up with it on the platform as well. As people are listening, how can they help you? What's the best thing they can do for you at the moment?
I would say the first thing is nice one for listening. The second thing is follow us on social media at rivia.band for everything.
And do you talk to people on social media as well?
Yes. And then the next thing is send us a message. Like let's have a chat. Like ask us a question. Like
but not that awkward one that you were going to send. Don't send that. If you're that kind of don't send that sort of message, please. Just something about the music. That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
You just got to caveat that because you never know. There are people out there. So send you a message that you can communicate with, and then the other thing I always suggest that people do is add a track of yours to a playlist.
Hell yeah.
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 Well, let us know which one you like the most.
Yeah.
It's nice to see.
And why?
It's interesting to see because our music is because we got so like a different sound with all the different songs. It's very interesting to see the different like
people's
groups that we've got.
favourites,
And,
Yeah.
So a lot of the times it's really interesting to see the difference in our audience because certain like side of them will like 90% of the songs, and then there's a couple who only like a very specific couple because the others aren't really their thing because they're a bit too X or a bit too Y, and that's fine, that's cool. We like to know what it is about those that seem to make people gravitate to it.
That's an interesting area, full stop, though, as well, isn't it? Do you think do you think the younger audience these days in particular are a lot more sort of just dismissive of the songs that they don't like straight away?
Yeah.
You know, because I just feel like as a listener over years, I talk about this quite a lot. I must lecture in this one day. If a university want me to lecture in this, it'd be fine. I could come and do that. But I generally think that a lot of people these days, when they listen to music, don't develop their skills at listening.
Yes.
And therefore they kind of stop at a point where it becomes difficult for them. Whereas actually, if you persevere with something that you find difficult in the first place, sometimes you end up loving that.
It's such a reward at the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's a really good point what you've just said, and it is reflected in the structure of songs compared to 20 years ago compared to now. Where's the bridge in a song? It's disappeared.
Where's the intro?
You've watched the famous Sting interview talking about that, have you?
Yeah,
absolutely. He's
absolutely.
right though, isn't he?
Pretty spot on. And like I remember watching it and going, yeah, like because we always have this thing where it's like, okay, we've got our kind of structure when we're writing, but it's like, okay, what did we do on the last song we created? Oh, well, we did like chorus and we went straight into the bridge, and it's like, okay, well, let's not do this time. We're putting a solo in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Let's put guitars back in guitar music. Let's put a call and response thing in here. Let's make that last chorus different and bigger than the other two and that kind of stuff. And we enjoy trying to do that. And well, not using my words well. We enjoy trying to like attract the listener's ear in that kind of way and going like, there's something more than verse chorus, and like just looping the same minute of music.
Yeah. I mean, go on.
I was going to say it's the same for the intro, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Intros are gone.
Yeah.
Intros gone. To be honest, you listen to some songs these days, and they are purely a verse or purely a chorus.
Yeah.
You know, some are literally just a loop.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's like if you were to take a song, let's use a cliche one. Let's use "Stairway." Right? You think about how many like average person's retention for something these days is like 10 seconds. You're not even getting through the intro of "Stairway" before you turn it off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's so many though. Like Hotel California.
Hotel California is another one.
Money for Nothing. Like all these massive songs that have got massive intros. If you want to emulate that, don't expect people to listen to it.
Yeah,
it is weird. It's like that idea of active listening and just passively listening, isn't it?
Yeah,
and there's definitely. I think you're right with the people just don't actively listen anymore. It's just a passive thing, and
it's unless the listener is immediately gratified in some kind of way, then there's no like investment for a payoff anymore.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing.
Really interesting. I've never thought about it like that. But it's it's interesting.
If you go back and listen to an interview that I did with Fred Bong on here, and right back at the beginning, I think one of the early ones, and I was talking about an album we both had, and he hadn't listened to it for ages. I don't think he had heard the album. He knew of the album, but he said, "Oh, I'd never listened to it." But you know, I said, well, when I was about 11, I was given this album by Pierre Ubu, and it called The New Picnic Time, and it blew my mind because it was just, some of the stuff on it was just so surreal and abstracted. And I mean, now, you know, after growing up with other bands like the Pixies and whatever, you know, you can hear all of the, like, the reference points, and you just think, oh, you know, all of this makes sense. But it was difficult to listen to begin with, because it didn't fit into anything else I'd heard before.
Yeah.
But I wanted desperately to like it.
Yeah.
Because there was something about it that was, that, you know, that made sense. And I just worry that, like, a lot of listeners don't do that these days. They don't go, they hear something, they go, oh, that's a noise.
Yeah.
And they give up, you know, as opposed to, well, I don't understand that as music. Well, hang on a minute. Why don't I understand it? Perhaps I'll give it more time and see what happens when I give it more time. Perhaps I'll hear something else that I didn't hear the first time. And, you know, you need that to happen. And if we don't do that, then, you know, some of the great artists that were, you know, that we have now, that we revere as great artists who changed the nature of music as well, there'll be whole generations that won't appreciate that, you know. You think of even people like Miles Davis, who, you know, supposedly rewrote jazz 6 or 7 times, you know. You listen to something like Bitches Brew, right? That's hard the first time you listen to it, right? But it's a great album, you know. And you just have to immerse yourself in what it is and hear it for what it is, and learn to appreciate it for what it is. So yeah,
absolutely. It's like learning a different language.
Yeah.
In a way, like, you think about it, when you hear something that's not your normal sort of thing, you're like, well, what is going on there? Like, it's in a different, like, first time, like, Chris has really opened my eyes to different time signatures, because I was very much a 4/4 guy, like 4 on the floor, let's keep it. And Chris is like, no, let's actually play some rhythm.
This is in 5/8.
Yeah. Oh, some of the conversations we have are hilarious.
You should see our cover.
Yeah, we'll be here for hours.
What is it? What is that one tune?
Times Like These.
Times Like These. You should see our cover of Times Like These.
7/8.
You've never heard of a 4 times like these, like that, you know.
And the thing is, the other thing that's great about time signatures like that is it keeps the singer on their toes.
Oh yeah,
you could say that again.
Oh yeah, sing a joke. If we
go for it. Sing a joke. Let's finish today with a singer joke. Here we go.
Go on. How do you know a singer's at the door?
Don't know. How do you know that a singer's at the door?
You can't find the key and you never know when to come in.
Yay! And on that, thank you so much for coming in, you guys.
Thank you for having us.
An absolute pleasure. People, do go and check out the music. We'll put the links to the music in as we put this out. And, you know, we'll be, and apparently they're sending me a t-shirt. So when the t-shirt arrives, I'll be doing some posts with the t-shirt as well, so that you all get jealous and you all want to go and buy one. And are those available on a website?
Yeah, they're all online on our various social medias and websites.
So there you go. Don't be, you know, don't be stingy.
They're also made to order. So we
spend some money, folks. Give them the money. They need the money. They're planning on doing a massive world tour, and at some point they're going to play Everton Stadium when it's built as well. We're manifesting that as we speak.
Yes. Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for coming in. If you've enjoyed this today, this has been me, Graham Coath. This has been, you can say your names again.
Rivia, Matt and Chris.
Matt and Chris, there we go.
Hello.
See, some people need prompting. And this has been My Music. Thanks for watching. We will see you all again soon with another episode of this. Thanks if you are supporting as well. Do press all of the buttons, etc. And you can catch up on previous episodes at mymusicpodcast.com. Until